Hi everyone, Dexter here. Today we're going to talk about the financial accountabilities of court personnel, particularly the clerks of court, branch clerks of court, evidence custodians, cashiers, cash clerks, assisting collecting personnel, and sheriffs. The functions of the branch clerks of courts or the single sala clerks of courts under the Supreme Court Manual, the general functions and duties of the branch clerk of court are: first is the extension of the clerk of court for administrative purposes and performs some of the functions and duties of the clerk of court but only within the branch, subject to the supervision and control of the presiding judge. Second is the custodian of the court's properties and premises. Third, attends hearing, takes charge of the administrative aspects of its business and chronicles its directions, keeps the following books: the general docket, judgment book, book of entries of judgments, and execution book. Keeps a daily record of the court's activities in a book known as the court journal, wherein daily entries shall be made of time of opening, recess, and closing of the court, and cases tried or heard, and status of each. So, the third, decisions or orders released, the cases filed, subpoenas, notices or warrants issued, returns received, other matters as may be specified by the Supreme Court. The sixth duty, receives and keeps the necessary papers of a case in their corresponding files. 7. Supervises the withdrawal of all records of cases to be heard and the preparation of the notices of hearing, calendar reports, minutes, monthly reports of cases, inventory of cases, index of exhibits, and paging of records. 8. Sees to it that all returns of notices are attached to the corresponding records and that all the pieces of documentary evidence properly marked during the hearing are collected in the exhibit folder. 9. Signs summonses, subpoenas, and notices, remittances of prisoners, certified through copies of decisions and orders, letters of administration and guardianship, transmittal of appealed cases, endorsements, and communications, and monthly reports of cases. 10. Signs releases of prisoners, writs, and other processes upon order of the court. 11. Keeps tabs of the attendance and whereabouts of personnel during office hours. 12. Receives evidence when so commissioned, such as in petitions for appointment of administrators and or executors, receivers, guardians, accounting reports, and similar incidents without collecting fees. So you're not allowed to collect fees, the branch clerks of court. 13. Represents the presiding judge, who designated by the latter in ocular inspection and acts as hearing officer in the taking of depositions. And last, performs such other functions as may be delegated by the clerk of court and or assigned by the presiding judge. Then, the Supreme Court, in Administrative Matter number P-13-3134, promulgated on February 4, 2020, so defined one of the functions of the branch clerk of court. So for the loss of physical evidence, so the related duty of the branch clerk of court for the custody of evidence or exhibits. Okay? So in this administrative matter, the facts of the case, the evidence in criminal case number 01-1229 and 03-0408 was lost. The stenographer averred that she handed the evidence to the evidence custodian, who demanded proof that the same was given to her. So the evidence custodian admitted that she had no experience and training in handling physical evidence under the custody of the court. The BCC maintained that the NBI report did not show his alleged failure to exercise due diligence in supervising court employees in the safekeeping of evidence. So, however, the Supreme Court ruled that under the Manual for Clerks of Court and the Rules of Court define the role of a clerk of court in the administration of justice, Section E2, paragraph 2.2.3, Chapter 6 of the 2002 Revised Manual for Clerks of Courts, so provides, all exhibits used as evidence shall have been terminated, shall be under the custody and safekeeping of the clerk of court. That is the branch clerk of court or the single sala clerk of court. Section 7 of Rule 136 of the Rules of Court also provides, Section 7, safekeeping of property. The clerk shall safely keep all records, papers, files, exhibits, and public property committed to his charge, including the library of the court and the seals and furniture belonging to his office. Okay? A clerk of court's primary duty is the safekeeping of all the records and pieces of evidence submitted to the court in cases pending before it, including the properties furnished to his office. This obligation extends to ensuring that the records and exhibits in each case are complete and accounted for, and continues even after the termination of the case as long as the same have yet to be disposed or distracted in accordance with the existing rules. Accordingly, it is the clerk of court who shall assume liability for any loss, shortage, damage, or destruction of court records, exhibits, and properties. Okay? Then, the branch clerk of court and the evidence custodian were held guilty of gross neglect of duty and dismissed from the service with perpetual disqualification from reemployment in any government agency or instrumentality, including any government-owned and controlled corporation or government financial institution. So, it is the clerk of court or the branch clerk of court who should safekeep all the records and pieces of evidence. Okay? So, another duty and responsibility of the branch clerk of court or the single sala clerks of courts related to the safekeeping and handling of evidence or exhibits. OCA Circular number 250A-2016, dated December 5, 2016. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas requested the OCA, the Office of the Court Administrator, to issue the circular. So it is about the replacement or exchange of the new design series or NDS banknotes, the currencies. Okay? So pursuant to BSP number 910 dated April 22, 2016. Okay? To ensure replacement of these banknotes, clerks of courts were required to submit to the BSP cash department a duly filled up and certified inventory or exchange form not later than the close of business hours on January 31, 2017. So, in the case that the old currencies are subject of the pending court cases, clerk of court shall submit for exchange to the BSP within 6 months after the corresponding legal case had been terminated. So, that is after you provided the BSP cash department with the filled up and certified inventory exchange form. So, you were directed to conduct inventory of all currencies, so all currencies on your possession. So, if you failed to provide the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, so the BSP won't allow the exchange of those old currencies with the new design series. Okay? So, failure to submit the required inventory exchange form on the given period shall disallow the replacement of old currencies. So, the clerk of court concerned shall be accountable for the equivalent amount of the currencies. Okay? So, there were queries submitted to the OCA regarding this matter. So, it is under the accountability of the branch clerk of court if she or he failed to notify or to inform the BSP about the old currencies on their possession. So, walang new currencies maalat ang BSP kung hindi nyo sila na-inform beforehand na meron kayong old currencies as exhibit or evidence. So, if matapos ang kaso, the court directs or orders the forfeiture of the exhibit money. So, kung old na siya, hindi na siya tatanggapin ng bangko, old currencies. So, it would be the accountability of the clerk of court who safe kept the fund. Okay, kung multi-sala court, sa branch, yung branch clerk of court, ang accountable dyan. Kung single sala court, the clerk of court. Okay. Other important matters that the branch clerks of court should know. Okay. The issuance of order of payment on all matters where collection of judiciary fund is required, that in line with OCA Circular number 89-2021. Another, monetary award in the judgment should be compared with the amount used as basis in the assessment and collection of legal fees, provided in the required legal fees form attached to the case folder. So, when the case was filed for the collection of the deficiencies, so, kung the monetary award is bigger than the amount which was used as the basis in the assessment collection of legal fees when the case was filed, so the difference or the deficiency should be collected, and the branch clerk of court should issue an order of payment to the party and direct the party to pay for the deficiency. So, the appropriate legal fees should be paid to the office of the clerk of court. So, safekeeping, receiving of all monies, monetary value, except exhibit evidence is not allowed and shall be referred to the office of the clerk of court for issuance of official receipt. Okay, so bawal tumanggap ng kahit anong monetary value ang branch clerk of court. So, it should be referred to the OCC for issuance of official receipt. So, make sure that the fee for solemnization of marriages is duly paid at the office of the clerk of court. So, the auditors are conducting audit about the fees on solemnization of marriages. So, kung may naraffle na solemnization of marriage sa branch nyo, make sure na naka-attach yung resibo doon na nabayaran nyo yung application for solemnization of marriage. So, designate or assign a sheriff who will process the fund for sending court processes outside territorial jurisdiction. So, kung may summons or court processes kayo na kailangang ipaserve sa court outside your court jurisdiction, so hindi naman kailangan yung branch clerk of court ang magpapadala nun. So, you should assign a sheriff on that case. So, siya yung gagawa nung estimate doon kung magkano gagastusin para padala doon sa requested court. So, ang sheriff ang kukuha ng PMO kung PMO applicable pa, or kung hindi na applicable yung PMO sa lugar na papadala nyo, yung sheriff ang magdi-deposit doon sa account ng requested court, yung amount na the fund that shall be used for the service of the court processes. Okay, so that's the financial accountabilities of the branch clerks of courts or the single sala clerks of court. Okay, then we move to the financial accountabilities of the clerk of court of the multi-sala court, the OCC clerk of court. Okay, or the single sala court then. It applies also to the single sala clerks of court. So, under the Supreme Court Manual for the clerks of court, the general functions and duties of the clerk of court are: number 1, the administrative officer of the court under the supervision of the executive judge. So, second, has control and supervision over his personnel, all properties and supplies in his office. Third, acts on applications for leave of absence and signs daily time records of his staff, as well as the security and janitorial services personnel. Then, assist in the raffle of cases to the branches and judicial notices summons to accredited publishers. Okay? Issues clearances in appropriate cases, acts as ex officio notary public, acts as ex officio sheriff, so represents the court in administrative dealings with the local government units and other agencies. 10th, performs and discharges such duties as may be assigned by the executive judge. So, yung na-skip natin, yung number 4, is about determines docket fees. So, determining docket fee. So, hindi na ganang kababaw yung function ng clerks of courts. There were cases decided by the Supreme Court elaborating this function, the financial functions of the clerks of courts. So, these are, in the case of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas versus Executive Judge Enrico A. Lanzanas et al. Under Administrative Matter Number RTJ-06-99. So, the Supreme Court ruled there that it emphasized that clerk of courts functions or duties are not merely ministerial. So in receiving cases being filed by litigants, so ministerial ang function ng clerks of courts. Pero in the handling of judiciary funds, hindi ministerial. So kailangan maging cautious kayo. So you have to check all the records, verify everything. So ganon, hindi ministerial in the handling of the judiciary funds ang function ng clerks of courts. So second, in the case of Oka versus Attorney Fermin M. Ofilas and Ms. Aranzazu V. Baltasar. So Clerk of Court 6 and Clerk 4 respectively, both of the RTC San Mateo Rizal. So under Administrative Matter Number PIDA-05-1935, April 23, 2010. So the Supreme Court ruled that clerk of court be an individual of competence, should exercise service with loyalty, integrity, and efficiency. So self-explanatory na yan. Okay? So number 3, in the case of Oka versus Gregorio B. Sadi, clerk of court, so under Administrative Matter Number P-10-2818, so the Supreme Court ruled that clerk of court should not issue handwritten receipts. So bawal yung i-acknowledge nyo lang yung payment. So dapat official receipts dapat laging i-issue nyo. Okay? Fourth, clerk of court's reliance on employees of lower rank projects nothing else but gross inefficiency and incompetence. So that is in the case of Oka versus Attorney Magdalena L. Lometilio. So dapat alam nyo rin yung ginagawa ang the duty of the clerks of courts in the assessment, collection, remittance, so reconciliation of deposits. So hindi dapat magre-rely lagi sa cashier nyo, sa cash clerk, kasi damay kayo sa accountability. Kung may accountability incurred yung cash clerk nyo or cashier, so the court will determine kung may negligence ba kayo dyan or may participation kayo kung bakit nagkaroon ng infraction or shortage sa collection. So fifth, clerk of court is tasked to ensure that his or her subordinates perform their duties and functions. So dapat nasusupervise yun ng mabuti yan. So that's the case of Oka versus Bernardino. Okay? 6, clerk of court is the custodian of the court's funds, revenues, records, property, and premises. So, yun nandun yun, stated dun sa function nyo. So, you have to take charge of everything there. The funds, revenues, records nyo, property, and premises. 7, clerk of court is multitask. Clerks of court wear many hats. So, maraming sombrero, kaya marami kayong functions ang clerks of court. Those of treasurer, accountant, guard, and physical plant manager of the court. So, lahat kailangan yung i-perform to safeguard yung judiciary funds and to handle the reconciliation, the monitoring of judiciary funds. Number 8, clerk of court cannot raise personal financial problems as a valid excuse for using court funds. So, bawal gamitin ang judiciary funds for personal use or kahit saan. Basta pag may collection kayo, intended yan for deposit lang sa court. So walang particular purpose kayong gagawin dyan. Pag if you collect money, the legal fees, it should be remitted to the appropriate funds. Okay? Kahit sabihin nyo na kinailangan, so importante may nagkasakit yung anak nyo, close relative, so pinahiram niyo yung pera, ginamit, so bawal pong gamitin ang court funds for personal financial matters, or kahit hindi personal, sa ibang tao nyo ginamit, so bawal gamitin. The collection should be deposited lagi sa court. Kahit nga pag may withdrawal kayong fiduciary fund yan, yung collection nyo ng bond, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung hawak nyong pera pag may nag-withdraw. So, dapat should be deposited sa bank. Okay? 9. Clerk of court cannot resort to protestation of good faith to override the mandatory nature of the circulars. So, the case of Oka versus Mauro Di Campano. So, ang clerk of court, hindi naman siya aware doon na bawal yun na ginagawa. Walang circular regarding that, so hindi siya aware. So, hindi rin the Supreme Court won't accept that excuse. Okay? Dapat you should be aware. Kaya nga ngayon, may mga yung PJ 365 natin, yung Microsoft 365, special yan sa courts na. It is called as Philippine Judiciary 365, kaya PJ 365. So, provided kayo ng isa-isang account dyan. So, binayaran ng Supreme Court yan, kailangang may access kayo parati dyan. So, ang Supreme Court, nagpo-post doon sa ating Microsoft Teams ng mga latest circulars. So, dapat aware kayo sa mga issuances ng Supreme Court. Halos every week, every day nga, may ipinopost doon eh. So, dapat na-check nyo kung ano yung issuances ng Supreme Court. Importante yon. Like yung sa implementation ng expanded jurisdiction ng lower courts. So, it was implemented on August 21, 2021. Okay? So, dated yung circular August 20. So, dapat nabasa nyo. Baka yung court nyo nakapag-receive pa ng mga cases below 2 million. Kung RTC ka, madidismiss yun for lack of jurisdiction. Dapat starting August 21, in-apply nyo na yung expanded jurisdiction. Okay? And to further convince you that the functions of clerks of courts are it's really serious. So, I want to share with you one of my audits conducted when I was an audit team leader before. So, the audit in OCC-RTC Batangas City. So, it was conducted in April 2004. The clerk of court assumed in 1992. So, in the RTC Batangas City. So, 1992, it's 12 years. 12 years before we conducted the audit. The clerk of court just adapted the procedures of his predecessor in the handling of court funds. Okay? So, that is the cash clerk was doing all the functions of accountable officer. So, nadat na niya na yung cash clerk doon, na ganun yung ginagawa, ganun trabaho. So, pinabayaan niya lang yung cash clerk na gawin yung the procedure na nadat na niya. Okay? So, the cash clerk, naging close sila. So, became si Osis Kumare. Then, the court was regularly audited by COA. So, may audit lagi ng COA yun, yearly. Wala namang nababanggit ng COA na may findings. So, laging reconcile yung collection and deposit. Walang nare-report sa amin na may irregularities. So, the cash clerk compulsory retired in October 2003 and was given a commitment to service award by the executive judge. Okay, the EJ before, it's the Associate Justice. So, Mario Lopez, or our Associate Justice. So, when we conducted the audit in 2004, wala na tong cash clerk. Naka-retired na siya ng 6 months, 7 months ago. Okay? So, then during our audit, we noted a series of over-withdrawals of cash bonds. So, yung mga bonds na na-withdraw na before, na-withdraw pa uli ng cash clerk. So, paano ginawa ng cash clerk? Nagpapapirma yung cash clerk ng withdrawal slip sa clerk of court. So, the clerk of court, hindi niya alam, hindi niya na-verify yung mga pinipirmahan niyang withdrawal slips na-withdraw na before. So, the bonds amounting to mga usually 20,000, 30, 60, na withdraw ng hindi lang twice, 3 times, yung iba may 6 times pa kaming nakita na na-withdraw, worth 60,000, 6 times na-withdraw. So, over-withdrawals talaga. So, collections were not remitted, hindi na ma-monitor ng clerk of court na hindi pala nare-remit yung collections. So, paano nangyari yon? Kasi, yung procedure, yung kiting and lapping, ginagawa ng cash clerk. So, paano yung kiting? So, yung kiting, diba, pinapalipad niya yan. Yung impondo ng collection niya ng JDF, ginagamit niyang pan-deposit doon sa other funds na kinuha niya yung collection. Okay? Kung yung lapping naman, so yung collections ko ngayon, kukunin niyo ng clerk of court, tapos yung the fund na i-deposit niya doon sa month na sa previous month, yung current collection, yung ipang di-deposit niya doon sa prior months. So, ganun yung paglapping. Okay? So, then, syempre, it's obvious. It's an adverse finding. So, we filed an adverse report in 2004. Okay? Then, ito yung shortages na discover namin. Case for JDF, 55,000, 927.65. So, sa SADS, bago pa lang yan. Newly created yung SADS that time. So, wala pang findings masyado dyan. The general fund, yung 50,000. So, yun yung mga na-forfeit na bonds, na exhibits. So, hindi binideposit ng clerk of court. Kinukuha niya. Hindi clerk of court, na cash clerk. Sorry. So, yung Sheriff General Fund, so, maliit lang yung collections dito. Mediation Fund, bago lang din yung Mediation Fund yan, 2004, walang accountability. So, yung mga interest, yung confiscated cash bonds, ito yun, 855,000 pesos. So, wini-withdraw yung interest from Fiduciary Fund, pero hindi nire-remit doon sa funds na dati. Sa JDF natin nire-remit yung mga interest ng FIDU. Ngayon, sa General Fund na. So, hindi nire-remit ng cash clerk yan doon sa respective account. Yung STF, so magulo yung record, hindi na unaccounted yan. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin reconcile yung ibang records yan sa STF. Kasi yung mga ibang records, yung mga sheriff na iba, naka-retired na. So, merong na-clear na sheriff, meron pang hindi, pa nakiklear. So, yan. Then, the fiduciary funds, 8 million, 8.6 million yung shortage. So, yan yung sum ng mga double withdrawals from 1992 for 12 years lang yan. 12 years na may over withdrawals yung cash clerk. Kinukuha yung collection. So, ang total shortages niya is 9.5 million. So, yan yung accountability ng dapat ng cash clerk. Pero dahil nga yung clerk of court, may negligence siya. So, gross negligence yun. So, hindi niya na-supervise ng maayos yung cash clerk niya. So, primary liable yung clerk of court dito. So, pati yung cash clerk. So, yung cash clerk nagtagunan nito. So, the clerk of court filed a criminal case against this cash clerk but the criminal case filed did not materialize kasi hindi nga malocate na yung cash clerk, yung former cash clerk. And this administrative matter, tumagal to until makaretire na yung clerk of court. 2013, the administrative matter hindi pa tapos the time. Only in 2017, an en banc resolution was issued ordering forfeiture of COC's retirement benefits. No, kahit walang nakuha yung clerk of court dito, yung cash clerk niya lang, so na-dismiss siya, na-forfeit yung retirement benefits niya. So for almost 40 years in service, wala siyang nakuha dito. Tapos may nag-issue pa ng writ of attachment against the properties ng clerk of court and the cash clerk. So dahil nga wala na rin namang nakapangalan doon na property sa cash clerk, walang na-claim sa cash clerk. Doon lang sa clerk of court yung bahay ng clerk of court, so subject for auction. So ganun na nangyari. So wala talaga nakuha yung clerk of court hanggang the clerk of court passed away. So ganun talaga, mahirap yung mag-depend lagi sa cash clerk nyo or sa cashier. Dahil kahit close kayo niyan, matetempt pa rin yung cash clerk kung humahawak siya malalaking pera. So kung hindi nyo siya monitor, may tendency na magamit niya yung collection. So dapat should properly supervise your cash clerk and or the cashier. Okay? Another audit conducted by yours truly. So this time dapat you should verify the signature of the judge. So dito sa audit namin na to, so we discovered na may falsification sa signature ng judge. So that's why this time nag-start kami na we don't accept yung mga order na stamp lang, original sign stamp, kasi yung signature nga nadadaya. So yung mga order na original sign, part din ng audit findings namin dito na hindi naman totoo yung order na nakita namin na stamp original, yung marked original sign. So walang mga ganung order. So dapat the order should be properly signed by the judge. Pero check nyo rin yung signature ng judge. Okay? So ito forged yan. Yung nasa kanan, ito yung genuine. So pinorge yung signature ng judge. This is the genuine signature ng judge. And this is the forge. Okay, so dapat yung mga sa OCC, dapat ma-check nyo rin kung valid ba yung order. Kung ma-check nyo kung familiar kayo sa signature ng judge, ng branch, ng presiding judge. Okay? Then you must reconcile the deposits pursuant to OCA Circular Number 52/2004. Okay? So dahil because of the incident dito, so yung deposit slip, so dapat may validation. Okay? Pero this time, yung validation niya, this is falsified. Okay? So ang validation dapat, it's military time. So ito, 02:03. So madaling araw to the deposit. Kaya dapat military time. Kung alas 2 ng hapon, it should be 14:03. Then the date should be 3 digits lang yung month. So JEUN lang dapat to. Tapos magkakadikit to dapat. Okay? So falsified to. Ito yung cash clerk. So kahit close sila ng clerk report, siya yung tamper yung tong deposit slips. Kaya nag-issue kami ng OCA Circular number 52/2004 na dapat i-reconcile nyo yung deposits. So paano nyo i-reconcile? So i-verify nyo sa bangko kung may pumasok bang ganong amount doon sa bank account nyo, or kung sa sides, kung mas maganda during the day mag-sampling kayo for those clerks of course na you're asking for someone to deposit the collections. So kahit close kayo noon, tiwala kayo, so dapat na verify nyo pa rin na re-reconcile nyo yung deposits kung pumapasok ba talaga sa account. Okay, another incident nung falsification. Ito, falsified din siya, pero this time, maganda yung validation niya. Military time, then, ang date niya, 3 digits, so may stampa ng land bank. So, falsified to. Yung cashier nito, so nagpagawa pa yan ng stamp dito. So, siguro sa Quiapo, recto yan. Then, itong validation, so may printer siya sa bahay, ginagamit niya, or sa office, siguro, nagagaya niya yung validation ng land bank. So, falsified yan. Okay, so ang genuine yan, ang ginawa ng cashier dito, 83 lang yung dineposit niya. Yung total collections is 133,000. Binabawasan niya. So, 50,000 yung kinuha niya dito. Ito lang yung niremit niya, 83,000. Pero ito yung ina-attach niya sa report. 133. So, paano nakita tong genuine? So, nakita to nasa drawer din pala nung cashier. Okay? Okay, then sa handling of court funds naman tayo. So, proper handling and use of official receipts. So, we have a circular on this matter. So, circular number 22-94, April 8, 1994. So, one booklet at a time. So, for each fund, dapat may isang booklet allotted sa pag-issue ng official receipt. So, hindi pwedeng may isang booklet na dyan, may hawak yung isang personal nyo ng booklet for JDF, may another booklet yung isang staff sa JDF din, dahil maraming transaction. So, hindi, dapat isang booklet lang ang gagamitin nyo din. Dapat sequentially ang pag-issue. Okay? Isang fund, tapos numerical sequence ang issuance ng official receipt. So, the original copy will have to be should be written in hard indelible pencil or ball pen. Okay, the duplicate and triplicate copies will be carbon reproductions in all respects of whatever may have been written on the original. So carbon paper dapat hindi overused. Okay, preparation of official receipts may be entrusted to subordinates, but the official receipts must be signed by the bonded assisting personnel, if not the COC himself or herself. Important matters that clerk of court should know. Okay, number 1, yung signatories of the local accounts must be the executive judge or the presiding judge and the clerk of court or the acting clerk of court. So, dalawa yung signatories ng local accounts natin, yung fiduciary fund and STF. So, bawal yung clerk of court lang, bawal yung judge lang. Okay. Second, attachment of fiduciary fund withdrawals. So, ano yung hahanapin? Order of release. Dapat yung order of release is pursuant yan sa OCA circular number in compliance pala. So, in compliance with OCA circular number 236/2018. So, dapat naka-mention doon yung amount ng bond tsaka yung OR number. Okay, sa order. Okay, then the original OR should be surrendered. So, pursuant to OCA circular number 50-95. Then should be properly acknowledged. So, may acknowledgement receipt ng bondsman, ng payor. Okay, kung may order man ng judge, so hindi sa payor ibibigay kung sinong nasa order. Okay, kung ibang tao naman yung bibigyan, so yung OR, pag hindi na, it's impossible nang ma-provide ng taong yung recipient, so we won't require na yung pag-surrender ng original OR kung third party yon ang recipient. So, withdrawal slip kung savings account or the copy of the check issued. So, pursuant sa OCA Circular 50-95 also. Then, attachment for STF withdrawals. So, the first one, order of release and or approved disbursement voucher. So, order of release hindi required for STF withdrawals. So, kung basta may voucher, it is duly approved ng executive judge, yun na it will serve as the order. So yung iba, kung yung party nag-motion during hearing, tapos nag-request for the refund ng excess sa 1,000, so magkakaroon ng order of release yun. So, okay lang yan, pwede. So, pero we won't require na may order of release para sa STF withdrawals. Okay? So, yung approved disbursement voucher, so it serves as the order of the judge. So, yung original law should be surrendered. Kung wala yun, walang masurrender, so mag-affidavit of loss yung party, yung payor or yung plaintiff. Okay? Same with the FFOR. Kung nawala, affidavit of loss, ina-allow ng audit yun. Then, it should be properly acknowledged also. AR, the acknowledgement receipt, then yung withdrawal slip and check din. Kung savings account or check. So, yung ngayon, so we're encouraging the lower courts to open na lang yung checking account or current account para mag-issue na lang kayo ng cheque. So, to minimize yung travel nyo sa pagpunta-punta ng bangko. So, para kung may sheriff din kayo magsaserve, issuehan nyo lang ng cheque. The sheriff can deposit the check on his or her land bank account. Okay? The fourth, yung assessment form. So, for COC, OCC clerks of court, so the assessment form should be issued instead of order of payment. So, yung order of payment para sa branch clerks of court yun. Pero, yung order of payment, nagagamit din ng OCC clerk of court or ng single sala clerk of court para sa mga payment na kailangang orderan yung party. So, kung may during trial, so may kailangang bayaran, so order of payment ang kailangang issue. Pero for filing of cases, assessment form dapat ang ini-issue ng clerk of court. So, number 5, order of payment shall be issued for directing a party to pay on matters other than filing of cases. So, kung hindi filing ng cases, order of payment. Okay? Alright, thanks for watching. If you like this video, you may consider sharing and make sure to subscribe for more. Bye!